Hello Internet, my name is Taliesin.
And I'm Evitel.
And welcome to the best of Taliesin and Evitel 2017.
The absolute best.
Yeah, I mean this is not the best of Taliesin and Evitel. This is mediocre at best.
This is really, really struggling Taliesin and Evitel.
The intro. But from now on in, all you're going to see is the greatest bits of our year.
Why are we doing that?
We're doing it because we're moving house.
Yeah.
You can't see because we've kept it all out of shot, but all over our flat now there are boxes filled with the detritus of our lives. It's quite an emotional one for us, this, because this is a goodbye to this flat, which is the flat where we started the channel.
Yeah.
Taliesin and Evitel Games. It's where every single video, apart from the ones in BlizzCon, for this channel were made in front of this very screen, this very sofa, this very window, and it's all going to change.
It is.
Probably won't be as good, will it?
No, it's going to be terrible.
Probably be rubbish. And then the magic will be gone, and that'll be the end of the golden age of Taliesin and Evitel. So what we're doing is, we got ourselves a bottle of wine. This is a Hungarian bottle of wine bought for us by one of our first ever subscribers to the channel, and one of our first ever patrons as well, who we met up with in London just a couple of days ago. Yes. Daniel.
Thanks,
his name.
Daniel.
He's absolutely wonderful and beautiful, and here's to you, Daniel. So we thought it was very fitting to be drinking a bottle of wine bought for us by one of our first ever subscribers in our last ever video in this flat, before we move on to pastures new.
Yes.
Oh, we've got a giveaway at the very end of this video as well.
Oh yeah, so stay tuned.
Where you can win a shadow plush. You've got the pet in-game if you bought it and gave money to Hurricane Relief. If you're a good person, you already own the pet in-game, but now you can own it IRL.
He's adorable.
So stay tuned for that. But for now, sit back and enjoy the greatest hits. None of them were hits. The greatest bits.
Greatest bits.
Of Taliesin and Evitel 2017. Micro holidays, because sometimes the best things really do come in miniature. They do, okay? Micro holidays are like normal WoW holidays, but smaller and less significant, like Luke Hemsworth, lasting for maybe just a day or two at a time. The idea is that they're a fun distraction if you happen to catch them, but no big deal if you don't. It's a fun concept, and some of the ideas really sound good. So let's play a little game called Is It a Real Micro Holiday or Not? Where I will give you the lowdown on some of the upcoming holidays, and you've got to guess which one won't actually be in the game. So first up, we've got Call of the Scarab, a celebration of the opening of the gates of Ankara, where Horde and Alliance will compete to earn the most credits and have their flag fly over Silithus for a whole year. The Kirin Tor Tavern Brawl, where players use portals to travel from tavern to tavern, collecting amazing hats and drinking each bar dry. Or as it's otherwise known, Lemmy's 12th birthday party. The 1,000 Boat Bash, in which the citizens of Azeroth go on spring break and, party on boats. Probably about 1,000 of them, I'd imagine. Black Thursday, where all items in the auction house are reduced by 50% and a huge scrum appears inside all major cities. Players will be given the losing all dignity debuff as they scramble over an old woman to get 500 gold off a Hexweave bag. Volunteer Guard Day. Dress up as a guard and salute and stuff. It's great. So which one of those holidays did I just make up? Well, the answer will be on your in-game calendar, so go and have a look there. Answers on a postcard. There is no prize.
What do you mean, Taliesin?
Well, some people in the world of Warcraft look like other people.
Oh.
So, for example, this week's entry comes from the new World of Warcraft Chronicle, Volume 2 book. My favourite thing about this book is, I think, the
amazing drawings.
The drawings in this book.
Right, and I guess because they're all characters that you know from the games, and like you pick up on their stories.
Absolutely,
It's a little more exciting sometimes than like once upon a time the universe was created, which is pretty cool.
This one as well. This is so fantasy.
That's my favourite.
That's like probably my favourite Warcraft picture of all time.
Who are the good guys and who are the bad guys?
Yeah, you'll never know. But anyway, on to the lookalike. Now, I sometimes have trouble saying this name, but my absolute favourite picture in the entire book is this one, which is our heroes going into the Dark Portal.
Right, do you recognise that?
Yeah, exactly. That's from the loading screen.
Screens?
I love how they've just added that to this picture, which is really good. We've got Khadgar, new Khadgar.
Oh, very new
back
Khadgar.
in time. So that's how he was always supposed to look, as they said. And we've got, who's this here?
Is that Alleria?
Yeah, that's Alleria.
Oh.
That's her.
She's got good abs.
Here's Alleria's boyfriend.
Oh, Turalyon.
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 Oh, phew, I'm glad you said it, not me. Turalyon. And Turalyon is our World of Warcraft lookalike this week. We're going to put this up on the screen as well. Because as you can see, Turalyon looks exactly like Gordon Ramsay, the foul-mouthed British chef.
No.
We're not joking. He looks so much like Gordon Ramsay.
It's mostly just the sheer rage on
Yeah.
his face.
When
We were browsing through this and we were like, hold on a second.
Gordon Ramsay doesn't only cook a mean steak, he also pretty much saved Azeroth from certain destruction. So, I mean, that's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
And so we were thinking of things that Turalyon might be saying at this point.
Yeah.
And I thought he might be saying, that portal is so green, Miss Piggy wants to f*** it.
Oh, light save you. You call that judgment? My grandma could cast a better judgment, and she's dead.
Yeah. You f***ed me on the starters, you f***ed me on the dark portal, and you're a twat with the desserts. You know, I'm not entirely convinced that the Legion Fool are quite the elite fighting force they like to make out. But in fairness, what more can you expect from a faction with a crest that looks either like an imp taking a dump or an actual demon arsehole on your tabard? A demon arsehole. A demon arsehole. Your reward from the Highmountain Tribes cache in 7.2 is a... Oh no, wait, I tell you what. Why don't you try and guess? Because I bet you can't guess. And I know you think you know what it is, but let me tell you that actually I think you might be pleasantly surprised when I reveal to you that contrary to probably all expectations, the Highmountain Mount is actually something a little bit out of the... No, it's a moose. Surprise! And not only is it a moose, it's the most bog standard, normal looking moose you can possibly imagine. So far, we've had mooses, moss, that sparkle, that are corrupted, that are dead, and that are a serious pain in the arse. And now, at last, we have one which is brown. And I guess this is cool. The moose model is one of the awesomest and most satisfying to ride in the whole game. So a new moose is always welcome in your moose stable, obviously. And maybe you've been crying out for a moose which is just brown. Maybe that's what you've been waiting for. Personally, I'd have preferred a bit more embellishment, like a disco moose or something. That'd been pretty nice. Or Highmountain Tauren moose. And no, that's not weird, and actually it's pretty much lore anyway, because come on, seriously, how do you think the Highmountain Tauren even got those horns in the first place? It's lonely up there in those mountains, okay? Don't be so damn innocent. The PTR is so huge and with so much new stuff that Bellular is now literally the richest man in the United Kingdom. It's true, 7.2 is so big that Bellular genuinely now owns 15% of all of the houses in Belfast. There's been that much to make content on. When Bellular shits, it's on a golden throne, and every time he does, he looks up to the sky and he says, "Thank you, 7.2. And who is to blame for this? Who is to blame for 7.3 being on the PTR already? Who is responsible for this madness? Well, you know, you might want to blame Blizzard, and that makes sense on the face of it, but you'd be wrong. Because I know who's really to blame, and deep down, I think you know too. It's Bellular. Yes, Bellular, the hardest working man in WoW YouTubing. Now look, this is going to sound bad, and I didn't want to have to be the one to tell you this, okay? But Blizzard know that if they leave too long a gap in between major patches hitting the PTR, Bellular, he starts to kill people. Blizzard know that you have to keep Bellular busy making videos, because if you don't, then terrible, terrible things start to happen. So you might think this is too soon for 7.3 to be on the PTR, and actually, I agree with you, but I promise the alternative is so much worse. Bellular has released 16 7.3 videos in the last 12 hours, but just think, what would he have been doing instead? And likewise, in the coming weeks, every time Blizzard puts something new onto the PTR and you get annoyed because you can't keep up, just think, every new quest that they add to Argus there is another life saved. Thank you, Blizzard, for keeping us safe.
Hello, Internet. I'm Evitel.
My name is Taliesin.
And this is an appeal on behalf of Bellular.
Every time I click my fingers, something new is data mined from the PTR. A new armor set, perhaps. And every time I click my fingers, Bellular has to make another new video covering that new information.
What for you may take just seconds to read about and enjoy is literally hours out of Bellular's life.
This is a humanitarian crisis. Blizzard are putting new patches onto the PTR at an unprecedented rate, and YouTubers like Bellular are suffering. He hasn't left the house in 2 weeks.
For him, there are no sunsets, only the cool purple LED lights in his home office, although they are pretty cool.
But with Bellular, there is hope, because for just £5 a month,
you can help save the life of a WoW YouTuber during the 7.3 crisis.
With just £5, we can buy 2 bottles of shower gel. So on the rare occasions when he's able to wash, he can.
With just £5, we can supply Bellular with enough pot noodle to see him through the editing process of an entire 7.3 video.
And £5 will pay for a phone professional to call Bellular's phone when he goes more than 24 hours without uploading a video, just to check he's alive.
And our work here at Bellular extends to other WoW YouTubers struggling under the weight of 7.3 as well. With just £5, we can help Panzer find 40 things about 7.3. So next time you see that Blizzard have added yet something else to the PTR, remember, you can help. Donate to Bellular today, and you can ensure that he's around to make videos in 7.4 and beyond.
Are you eating Bellular's pot noodle?
Yes.
YouTube went into overdrive, pouncing on every announcement and reveal like feeding time at the zoo of YouTube. And of course, there was no harder worker on the production line than our hero and friend of the channel, Bellular. Sorry man, you knew this was coming. Sometimes we like to joke about Bell on this channel and over-exaggerate his work ethic for comedic effect, but there is no reason to over-exaggerate here because over the course of the weekend, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, Bellular released 10 videos. That's literally more videos made and published than I had actual meals over those 3 days. And I did not skip a meal. I never skip a meal, mate. What do you think I am? Bellular released so many videos on every conceivable topic or talking point that at one point, and again, this is not actually a joke, he genuinely ran out of World of Warcraft art assets that he could use, so he essentially put the same thumbnail on 3 different videos. He used up all of the art in WoW. And this is all brilliant, and the man is clearly a machine, and I don't want to alarm anyone, but after a burst of intense output like that, it can only mean one thing. It's time for Bellular to feed again. Lock your doors, people, close your blinds, and if you hear a cheeky, light Irish knocking at the door in the middle of the night, don't answer it. Be silent, be still, pray that some more WoW news drops and he'll have to make another video and you will be safe for now.
If the scaling and loot drops are done right, new players are actually going to have a working and engaging game to play, and you haven't been able to say that for a while now. I mean to say I'm super excited. I'm not as super excited as Bellular, who is so super excited. He's made 2 videos with the same thumbnail and the same title on this subject in the last month. I'm not that super excited, but I'm pretty super excited. By the way, we totally got drunk with Bell last weekend, and now we're basically allowed to say whatever we like.
Restoration Shaman, on the other hand, is seeing minimal updates for Tomb of Sargeras, so much so that in fact you could use the entire list of changes as your high school yearbook quote and still have room to spare. Granted, Wellspring has a reduced mana cost, maybe isn't the most inspirational quote you could go with, but it's still better than life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. F off, mate. Where it gets interesting for Resto Shaman in 7.2.5 is when you look ahead to their tier 20 set bonuses. The 4 set is going to give you a pretty much constant 50% damage increase on Healing Rain, and since Healing Rain was already pretty strong since they buffed the Pitter Patter artifact trait in 7.2, this is going to be a massive boost for Restoration in Tomb, and it finally makes up for that Chain Heal nerf in 7.1.5, as it introduces a really interesting new playstyle for Shaman in Tomb, which we're going to guide you through right now. Okay, are you paying attention? Right, so first of all, you want to click on Healing Rain, like so. Then you put it on melee, like so. And then you have a nice little sleep until Healing Rain is off cooldown, and then you do it again until you're top of the meters. GG. And it was great to see the community really take that on board on the forums, recognising the direction Blizz were trying to take this and giving eloquent, constructive and well thought out feedback. No, it was a shit show, obviously. Please hire some developers with an actual brain, not peanuts. Are you retarded? 12 years of playing and never I have seen this much bullshit from you then now. So you're killing Mythic Plus, basically. Well done. Please stop this. You can't be this dumb. That's just absolutely terrible. That said, every change except the loot is a good one. And that last comment kind of sums up this entire situation for me. Blizzard, can you see what you've done wrong here? Let me explain it to you, because you have done the one thing you must never do. You told people they'd be getting less loot. Rule 1, never ever tell people they'll be getting less loot. Rule 2, never suggest giving people less loot. And rule 5, just don't make people think they'll be getting less loot, because people will lose all sense of perspective and reasoning, and just get your hands off my loot, okay, Blizz? Just stand farther away. My loot. It's mine.
Blizzard published their latest earnings call this week. We've gone through it exhaustively, and we can confirm Blizzard are making a shit ton of money. Like, seriously loads. Blizzard are so rich that if they wanted to, they could probably buy Jeff Goldblum, cover him in gold, and make him stand naked in their lobby forever. And anyone who came to visit Blizzard HQ would say, I love your giant naked Jeff Goldblum statue. And Mike Morhaime would say, well, thanks, but it's not a statue, it's actually Jeff Goldblum covered in gold. It was quite expensive, but fuck it. Did you see our last earnings call? That's what I'd do if I had the money anyway. 100%.
The thing I love about Argus and demons and just Felon Feud stuff in general is how glowing and green everything is. Basically, everything on this first part of Argus looks like it's been designed by Razer hardware, and there's no better example of this than the Vile Fiend, which has a glowing green liquid spine. Now, I don't care what you say, having a glowing green liquid spine is fucking cool. Although, according to the description, that glowing green liquid is acidic blood, so I'm not sure how I feel about the saddle being right on top of it, you know? It seems to me like riding this mount, you are only ever one collapsing saddle away from the kind of embarrassing injury they do top 10s about on BuzzFeed. But otherwise, this seems a bit like the Demon Hunter class mount to me. The same slicey blade horn thing, the same loping arms, and the same clear disregard for leg day. But obviously, you know, it's about 10 times cooler than the Demon Hunter class mount because of its glowing liquid acid spine, which I really like, just in case you hadn't noticed. Maybe just wear your most flame-resistant trousers while you ride it though, yeah? Just in case.
Then you kind of have like a rune stone and then a space mask.
Oh! What is going on?
And a skull on the back.
There's a skull on the back.
Yeah, it's like one of those weird like Janus heads, like, you know, you never know whether you're actually looking forward or backwards.
But that means it's going to watch you, because this is your view when you're playing.
Oh.
So it's always going to be watching you, judging your rotation.
It's watching you.
It's watching me right now.
It's watching you right now. I don't like that.
Do you know what else? Because of this, because like obviously this now looks like the front because there's a face. That means when you're a male Tranai,
you've got your schlong out.
You got a full-on schlong out
with a little golden band.
It's waving around.
It's like flapping in the wind.
He's doing. He's doing the willy dance. He's doing the willy dance. He's a skull-faced willy dancer. That's what's going on.
At this stage, we don't know what the next expansion will be, and whether it ends up being based around Kul Tiras, Jaina and Azshara, or something else entirely. One thing that we are definitely going to start seeing more of from now on is old gods and the void. The old gods are all about madness, whispers and paranoia, about those you thought you could trust turning against you, about being driven insane with insecurities and second-guessing everything you thought you knew. And what if Blizz take that opportunity to do something really left field? What if, in the 8.0 pre-patch, our artifacts start whispering to us? What if, due to old god influence, we actually believe that our very weapons are turning against us and we have to dispose of them for our own safety? Having just used these super powerful artifacts to defeat the old god's most dangerous enemy in Sargeras, what if the old gods then managed to disarm us and make us think it was our idea? We think it's our artifacts corrupted by the void, but actually, it's us. It's an idea that was floated on Blizzard Watch's Lore Watch podcast a week or so ago, and I think it would be an awesome way to set up an expansion where you can never quite believe your own senses. If you can be so easily tricked into giving up your most powerful weapons at the start, how can you really trust that anything that happens to you after that isn't also old god influenced? There is one outlier to all of this, because of course if you're a shadow priest, your your dagger already is an old god and already does whisper to you. Xal'atath is probably the most powerful of all the artifacts and definitely the most relevant to coming expansions. What if Xal'atath is the only weapon that does have its own unique storyline leading up to its departure from your character tab, that instead of being destroyed or lost like the others, it simply escapes? What if somewhere down the line in the next expansion, your Shadow Priest ends up facing off with the rest of your raid team against your old dagger, who is now a genuine, bona fide raid boss? This I would pay good money to see. Make it happen, Blizz. I also know that if I was a dev, I would bully the shit out of Lore. Like, if Lore had a donut in the office one day, I'd be like, hey Lore, that's a nice looking donut. Give it to me. And he'd be like, oh no man, this is my lunch and I'm really hungry. And I'd be like, you know, I've been thinking we might introduce a new system where gear that drops from mythic raid bosses may or may not randomly downgrade to green level items, because I really think our player base would enjoy that. Maybe you can run it by them on the forum. And Lore's like, fine, okay, have my damn donut. Dick.
Oh, good morning, Taliesin.
Good morning, Evitel.
Hey, you know what day it is today?
No, I don't.
It's the first day of the new season of the Weekly Reset.
Oh yeah, of course! Taliesin and Evitel's wondrous wisdom show.
Yes, bringing you all the latest WoW news and knowledge.
I'd forgotten.
Ah, well, are you gonna get up and write it?
Yeah, about that, I was thinking, I can't really be bothered. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow instead.
Oh, well, okay, that's fine, I guess. Oh, but hey, maybe you should go and open the curtains.
Yeah, okay. What have you done?
Knowledge is power.
There is much to be done.
This wouldn't be a list of potential playable races if I didn't include my own personal favourite Warcraft race of all time, the Tuskar. And yes, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Taliesin, there are so many reasons why Tuskar shouldn't be a playable race. Firstly, they've been completely irrelevant to the story since Wrath of the Lich King. Adding them as a playable race now would be a token gesture at best, and yes, you're kind of right about that. Secondly, they have no actual real in-game lore, apart from one mention of their leader Tusklord Harakar in the RPG, which isn't even canon, and yes, this is completely true, fair dues. And Taliesin, there is no female Tuskar model, which is a major problem, and also applies to Ethereals and Nathrazim, even though you didn't bother mentioning that in their sections. And furthermore, we've already got one big cuddly meme race with the Pandaren, and subnumbers have never properly recovered from that expansion. Playable Tuskar would kill the game, and all of these are good points. But the thing is, I don't care. I've wanted playable Tuskar since the first moment I set eyes on one, and nothing has changed since. Think about it, this would be brilliant. They'd have an awesome starting area in Northrend, which everyone would love, because Northrend is basically the Warcraft equivalent of Neil deGrasse Tyson. Everyone loves it. They could play as warriors, hunters, shamans, monks, and yeah, druids, why not? And if the next expansion is going to be full of seafaring shenanigans, who better to have fighting at our side than a weirdly round humanoid walrus race? No one is the answer. No one would be better. Fact. Well, okay, maybe Naga would be better. Or Jinyu. Look, just shut up and give me my Tuskar, okay? Today we are talking Cologne, Germany, the jewel of the Rhine, where there's so much to see and do. Hey, you like sightseeing? Why not take a pleasure cruise along the river? Or a cable car high above the city? Hey, you like museums? I know you like museums. Take a visit to the Fragrance Museum, where actual eau de Cologne was invented in 1709. Or the Museum Ludwig, which has modern art. The Volrath Vichards Museum, which has classical art. All the while really enjoying the fact that the German word for art is Kunst. Hey, you like Nazis? Check out the former Gestapo headquarters, because why not? Or you could ignore all of that shit and sweat yourself to death in an expo centre outside of town for a week in Gamescom 2017. Now the choice is yours, obviously, but all I'm saying is, the Shrine of the Three Kings may claim to store the bones of the biblical Magi, but do they have 7.3 reveals and possible new expansion leaks? No, they don't. That's all I'm saying. So why are we even talking about him now? Because sure, he makes for an interesting footnote in the lore, and his story is admittedly quite touching, but there's nothing especially consequential about it, surely. Well, the reason we're talking about him is mostly because of what happens to Turalyon and Alleria since we've known them. Before disappearing, Turalyon was a priest and then one of the first paladins, so he's always had a bit of a thing about the light. But since landing on Argus, it's been a bit startling as to just how seriously he takes it. And I'm not just talking about his new Warhammer 40k meets Tron armor set here either. As the Prime Naru, Turalyon worships Xera as an actual deity, to the extent that he will lock up Alleria when she does something Xera doesn't approve of. At a point in the story where even Velen is having doubts and regrets about the things the light has made him do, Turalyon stands apart as a character who represents a mortal embodiment of the light more than any other still around. And Alleria, well, she's kind of the opposite. She's been studying the void, the power of shadow, under the tutelage of the not at all ominously named, surely nothing can possibly go wrong in this situation, ethereal Locust Walker. A storyline which recently climaxed in Alleria taking the full force of a dying corrupted Naru to the face and becoming, well, seriously, look at her. She is now, more so than perhaps any character we know, a physical embodiment of the shadow. So if Turalyon is light, and Alleria is shadow, and Arator is their child, what does that make him? Well, not the child of light and shadow, apparently, because we've already got one of those, Illidan's Storm Rage.
If you haven't already, don't forget to take a couple of hours out of your day and listen to the new audio drama that Blizzard put up on the World of Warcraft YouTube channel, because honestly, if you've never listened to one of these before, you are missing out, if only because you need Stephen Pacey, the narrator, in your life, like, right now. Because this guy's amazing. He was in Blake 7, and no one who was on Blake 7 can possibly be bad, because it was basically Doctor Who if each episode of Doctor Who was created entirely out of egg boxes and sock puppets. I mean, more so. He was the Rat King in Dark Souls 2, and he narrated the previous Tomb of Sargeras audio drama that came out just before the launch of Legion. That was also brilliant, but if anything, this is even better, as it tells the story of what happened to Alleria and Turalyon from the moment they disappeared at the end of the Second War throughout the 1,000 years of their time until the present day, when we meet them again on Argus. There are serious implications for the roles that the Light and the Void will play in the story of WoW going forward, which is our next video, so I won't go into it too much here, and fleshes out the characters in a really satisfying way. Here are the main takeaways. Lithraxian is awesome. I know you don't believe me, because in the game, he's like this gruff, glowing demon who is slightly annoying mostly because of his obnoxious size that kind of gets in your way as you're trying to make your way to the Paladin mission table. But in this audio drama, he's completely different. A soft, caring, and loyal older brother figure who always seems like he's just about to ruffle Alleria's hair or playfully punch Turalyon on the shoulder. Aww. I mean, if he did that, he would instantly maim Turalyon, because obviously Lithraxian is still a 10-foot-tall demon murder machine, but he's just got a really friendly voice and likable demeanor now, and I like him. I'm a fan. Alleria and Turalyon can't touch each other. One is full of light and the other is full of void, and apparently that means that if they come into physical contact, there's fireworks, and not of the sexy kind. Does that mean disciplined priests can't touch themselves? Is that what they mean by discipline? But my favorite part of the entire drama is when Locust Walker is teaching Alleria secrets of the Void and tells her, "The shadow will heal your scars, the shadow will reveal your destiny." Now, where have we heard that before? Two sides of the same coin indeed. This is definitely going to end well, I think.
Night Elves were the original Worgen, and the only other race in lore alongside humans who are capable of contracting the curse. So if you're looking for a wolfy variant for an allied race, Night Elves seems an obvious choice. Especially in battle for Azeroth, because you see that big massive burning tree? Yeah, that's where the Night Elves used to live. So in 8.0, the whole race is looking for a new place in the Eastern Kingdoms to call their home. And call me crazy, but does this sound to you like the perfect opportunity to phase Gilneas into a proper real-life Alliance city? The Night Elves did them a solid when they lent their healing powers to the recapture of Gilneas during the Cataclysm. Giving the new refugees a wing of the town to call their own seems like the very least that Genn could do in return. Okay, so Gilneas citizens have some serious Dick Van Dyke accent problems, and the local cinema only shows Tim Burton movies on repeat. But beggars can't be choosers, and when your hometown has been turned into the world's biggest tiki torch, you take what you can get, you know? And with the imminent attack on Lordaeron on the horizon, the Alliance could do a lot worse than have the Night Elf forces stationed in such a handy strategic base. So as a concept, it makes perfect sense. I see one major problem with this idea though. Creating a Night Elf Worgen form wouldn't take too much effort, especially as we've been promised updated Worgen models next expansion anyway, but revamping Gilneas is a much bigger job. And for that reason, we are only rating the possibility of Night Elf Worgen at 4 weirdly jaundiced female Worgen faces out of 8.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Weekly Reset. My name's Evitel, and this is Taliesin.
Hi everyone.
Great, so we're just going to get started now with some questions. Taliesin, you ready?
Yeah, great.
Great, okay. So, hey guys, I was wondering if you guys had any plans for your Halloween episode of the Weekly Reset. Maybe dress in Halloween costumes for the skit at the beginning. Your Diva and Matt Murdock costumes were great last year, and it would be fun to see what you come up with this time around. And that question is from Jahan from Argent Dawn.
Okay, so we're not going to be doing Halloween costumes this year. We thought about it, and I know lots of people are really keen that we do it again this year, and we decided that this is a show, it's a news show, and we think it works just fine as it is without any costumes or jokes or gimmicks or just any fun at all, really.
Yeah, I was playing on my shaman the other day, and I think I noticed something that pretty much backs up your point.
Do you even listen to what I was saying?
Okay, great. Will Khadgar be dressing up for Halloween?
Oh yeah, sure. Khadgar will be dressing up, sure.
Great. Time for the next question then. Bellular asks, will we ever get legacy servers? What do you think about that, Taliesin? Taliesin? Okay, great. Let's get on with the show.
Knowledge is power.
Okay, right. So finally, A name for the new expansion. What's it going to be?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Do you know what I think it's going to be called?
What's it going to be called?
Wrath of Azshara.
Oh?
Yeah, I think it's going to be called Wrath, and I think they can call it Wrath of Azshara, so that when everyone says, "Oh, my favourite expansion was Wrath," they can be like, "What a year it's been! Everybody says that Wrath is their favourite expansion. I think we nailed it, guys. I'm Mike Morheim."
Oh, okay. Or like Wrath of the Panda Crusade.
I see what you've done there. Wrath of the Panda Crusade of Draenor.
Guys, we have a great expansion to announce.
Okay, maybe a bit early a bit late for 8.0, but I'm thinking, look, if Bellular can do a video about 9.0, we can do a video about 9.0.
You know what? Let's go to 10. Let's go to 10.
Wrath of the Panda Crusade of Draenor. Be amazing. And the baddie, the main baddie is called Vanilla.
I got it. Okay, bye. I'm done.
Subs,
this is
20 million.
Yeah.
12. Oh, what a year it's been.
Yes, I know. I said at the beginning of this video that I was only considering allied races that were, at heart, a variant on an already existing playable race, and Murlocs may be plenty of things, but they are certainly not that. And also, look at them. They're tiny, they're frail, they're more annoying than this sentence. There's absolutely no way that they would be an allied race. But then I think, Blizzard haven't specifically said that allied races have to be based on existing playable races, have they? And then I think Blizzard have said on numerous occasions that we were at one point incredibly close to getting playable Murlocs, haven't they? And then I think, in an island exploring type expansion, Murlocs and their specifically amphibious skill set would certainly be an asset to whichever faction they get recruited by, wouldn't they? And then I think we have already spent a fair amount of time in Legion mind melding with Murky and sending him on his path to becoming Crown Prince of the Murlocs or whatever and uniting his people. Might he want to show his appreciation by rallying his forces under our banner in the battle for Azeroth? And then I think, really, is there any other race Blizzard could possibly add that would guarantee them more hard, fast, dirty cash money than playable Murlocs? And then I think Blizzard really like money. And then I think maybe playable Murlocs aren't such a stupid idea after all, you know? Okay, so if you've played as Murky in Highmountain, then you already know that he controls worse than Captain Hook's Joy-Cons, but that could easily be solved with a bit of TLC. And yes, it's true, Murlocs don't really talk, but honestly, if sub numbers drop during the pre-expansion lull and Blizzard need to pull the what we'll call an Ashbringer to get people hyped for the Battle of Azeroth all over again, then they might not even have a choice in the matter. It will be Murloc or bust. And as such, we give the possibility of playable Murlocs an ambitious 4 Murloc Knights out of Murky. And don't sit there all disapproving, because even if you think it's a stupid idea, and I admit it is a stupid idea, if you could, you'd play a Murloc. You know it, I know it. There would not be a player in this game who wouldn't have a Murloc alt tucked away secretly on some server somewhere. Silvermoon probably, they totally go for that sort of thing on Silvermoon. But the quick version is, Bondage Jaina is totally a thing now, and thank you Blizzard for that. Thank you more than you'll ever know. Humans can be bears now. Horde and Alliance don't like each other still. We don't get our own boats, but there are lots of boats. There are 6 new playable races. There's Azshara. Level scaling is a thing over the whole of Azeroth. Heart of Azeroth is a thing. It's a suspiciously artifact weapon shaped thing, but it's totally not an artifact weapon, but we can bore you with that some other time. Sylvanas is still one of the most badass characters of all time. Anduin tried tanking, but it made him cry, so he's a healer again now. Oh, and he is awesome. We need a CGI Blizzard Warcraft movie, like now seriously, make it happen, and Warfronts, whatever they are.
Oh, I think we can all agree that by far the most important question of all is, what do we call it? Battle for Azeroth is the actual name of the expansion, obviously, but at 6 syllables it is the joint longest expansion title along with Mists of Pandaria, so we're going to need an abbreviation, and so far the player base is stumped. Some have suggested BFA, but BFA doesn't sound like a cool fantasy video game. It sounds like a degree that isn't going to get you a job. Some have suggested Baz, but Baz doesn't sound like a kick-ass seafaring adventure. Baz sounds like the milkman in a 1970s English knockabout comedy. Some have suggested Basil, but honestly, I think those people are just taking the piss. After deliberating long and hard on the subject, we've decided on Battle. And when I wish to shorten the name over the coming years, Battle is the name I will use. It doesn't sound all that great, I admit, but it's the best option we've got. And it's what Ian says, so it's good enough for me. By the way, did I mention we totally met Ian at BlizzCon? Yeah, we totally met Ian at BlizzCon. It's not relevant or anything, I just wanted you to know. And yeah, I know we decided on Battle, but since last week we had so many other great suggestions that I think I'm back on the fence again right now. Right now, I'm leaning towards Froth. Genuinely, I really like Froth.
Okay, great job everyone. Another boss down, and fantastic work. If we keep going like this, we'll have the raid cleared in no time. And I have to say, Taliesin, you're playing especially well tonight. Normally you're pretty terrible, but tonight you're doing really well for a change, so well done.
Taliesin?
Yes, Mike. All done? Did I get a legendary?
Raid leader wants you, bro.
Oh, right. Yes, Gunnar.
Yeah, I was just saying you're playing really well tonight for a change, so good job.
Yes, yeah. Well, I've been practicing like really hard every day, practicing the game and stuff, rotations, practicing really hard, so...
Okay, next boss, guys. Don't worry, Taliesin is healing, so everything will be fine.
Okay, great, thanks, bye. Let's carry on. All right, Mike, get back on it and don't hold back. I want to be top of those healing meters, all right?
We're using healing meters?
Yeah, we do today.
Well, okay.
Oh, do you know what? That was even better than I remember it.
Yeah.
Because when I think back on this year, I think it was a bit rubbish, but actually that was quite good.
It was okay.
We had some good moments, didn't we?
It was better than what I expected it to be.
So, well done for making it through that. Now you can enter the giveaway to win this Shadow plush. Do you know what? If you want to buy one of these, you can from the Blizzard store, and I think part of the money or all of the money goes to hurricane relief or humanitarian charities, and you will help a real life human being. If you just want the plushie without having to help any other human beings at all, this is the competition for you, because we're just going to give it to you. No other human beings have been helped.
Yeah.
No money has been given to charity.
So
You've just
true.
got a free thing. People in disastrous areas continue to not get the help they need because you didn't buy this.
All
You
because
just
of
got
you.
it free.
Yeah.
How's that for the spirit of Wintervale? Brilliant. And all you have to do to win this is to like the video, smash that like button.
Who are you, Jake Paul?
Yeah,
Jesus.
I am. Can you... What colour is this plushie? What colour is Shadow? I can't.
I don't just... Wait.
Can I?
Do you want to... Yeah.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay, guys. I've just seen what colour this plushie is. If this isn't worth 1,000 likes.
Jesus Christ. You really ran with that.
All you gotta do is like the video and comment in the comments below.
Yes.
And you have to comment with the sentence, "What a year it's been." What a year it's been. And you too can, I'm not gonna lie, there's no way we're sending this off before Christmas.
No.
The closing date for this is the last day of this year. It will
Which
close as big,
which is?
which is the 31st of
The
December.
31st of December. Just gotta make that
through
clear.
the 31st of December is the last day of this competition.
Mm-hmm.
So, when Big Ben strikes midnight to make it 2018, that is the end of the competition.
It is.
Big Ben won't strike because the bells don't strike at the moment because they're doing works on it. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When it's midnight our time in the UK here and it turns to 2018, that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the competition.
We're cutting it off.
If you don't know what that is in relation to your time zone, that's your problem, not mine.
That's
Look it up.
what the internet is for.
Absolutely fine. Yeah. You're already on the internet. Do it now. Look it up. Enter this competition, and you too can bypass the charitable aspect of this plushie and win the internet. Get it for free. No human beings helped. And isn't that really the dream of any internet interaction?
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this will now be the last bit of video that we ever do. Patrons, we're keeping you updated with the move, as always. By the time you see this, we'll be in our new place.
Yeah.
And then the weekly reset will be in our
The
new
new
place.
place, yeah.
The new studio, which is just a bedroom in the new flat.
It's the studio.
But from us, Taliesin,
And Evitel.
until next time, and from this beautiful flat,
Bye, flat.
cheerio.